Hey Rosettes, this is YunnieRose and welcome biggity back to my channel. Hi everyone. How y'all doing? Y'all, I am so nervous right now. Like, I'm so nervous. Because I don't think I've done some like life updates before, but this one is gonna be like a really real, raw, like very authentic, genuine life update, because I don't feel like I owe it to like anyone or to you guys, my supporters. I more so feel like I owe it to myself, because everything that's been going on in my life within the past year has really like deterred me from the path that I was like going on before things happened. So I feel like I owe this life update to myself, to just allow myself to see like how far I've come, and just to be able to like proceed in giving myself grace and forgiving myself. So this video is more for me, but I did want to also present this video to my supporters, because I really appreciate you guys and I'm really grateful for you guys, especially the ones who have checked on me throughout this year and just kind of supported me behind the scenes or in the DMs or out loud whatsoever. I do want to say thank you. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I don't want to make the video too long, but I wrote everything down so I can kind of go in order and like really paint you guys a picture, because I feel like I've kind of just been throwing things into my like vlogs over this past year, but it's been very like vague, if that makes sense. So I want to be able to give you guys a little more clarity without like just exposing everything for no reason. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So last time you guys saw me, I think I did like a productive vlog. I don't even know, maybe it's been like 3 months or something. Y'all, first off, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. This is the longest I have like not posted. So like, I know y'all know something going on, because like the longest I've ever went without posting is probably 3 weeks, let alone 3 months. So yeah, we gonna get into some things. So last time you guys saw me, I think I was doing a productive vlog, like talking about my fitness and like working on my credit at the time. But I still wasn't being very vocal about like what exactly was happening. So I'm gonna take you guys back into when I first moved to Atlanta, so I could really catch you guys up and you guys could see where I am now. Oh, hold on, y'all. I done messed up the camera. Okay, so I wrote everything on my phone. So basically, when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't want to necessarily move to Atlanta. Like my goal was to stay in LA when I was in LA last time. But I was just in a very dark place after my divorce, and I just had this idea of like, oh, maybe I can go home. Like, I was just seeking some type of like nurturing when I went home. And that's not to say I didn't have it in LA. It was just more so I had already been away from family for like 10 years at that point in time, because when I graduated high school, I moved out of my mom's house and I went to college. Then I dropped out of college and I got married and I moved with my ex. You guys saw all of that. So at that point of my divorce, I had not been back home living in Atlanta for 10 years. So I thought it was just time for me to kind of go back home, like be around my family, kind of get to know who I was or what I felt like I was missing. Sometimes I feel like it's good for people to go home, and I'm so glad I did. I kind of regretted it after things happened, but now that I'm past that, I'm very grateful that God led me back home, because I needed to go back home. Definitely needed to. So I moved back home to Atlanta, got me an apartment. You guys saw that. And I started dating someone. Around this time that I was dating this person, he would come over a lot, to where security, the concierge at that particular apartment, would let him like down the hall, like not to my actual apartment, but like the hall of my apartment, which at that point I was living in what they considered a penthouse, because it was like a townhouse in the building. So we had our own separate we had our own separate hallway, where if you didn't live in those penthouses, you cannot come down that hall. And I chose to live there because of security. Mind you, I came from being married, so always having a man in the house. I came from like living with people, so I always had somebody in the house. So this was my first time after my divorce ever living on my own, where I was like the only person in that house. So imagine, and then I'm downtown in Atlanta. And if you know Atlanta, like, you know. So at that point, my anxiety was through the roof. Like, I didn't like really make a big deal out of it at the time, because like me and that person like were dating. I said something to the concierge here and there, but like, I'm not gonna lie, at that point in time, I wasn't in a place where I was like speaking up for myself. I never really did that. I don't know if y'all know that about me, but I'm not really a person that speaks up for myself. Like, I've never done that up until like now. I'm better, but like then, no. So I never really said anything. I think I would mention it sometimes, but it was never an instance where like he came and I wasn't home, or he came and I didn't know. So I never really said anything. Then it got to the point where like I started like getting really bad anxiety, and I spoke to you guys about this because I was in that big old townhouse by myself, and I don't know why. I mean, the vision was cute. The vision was definitely cute, but I didn't think of like how I would feel like spiritually and mentally. And it got to a point where my door at the time to that penthouse, I could not lock it from the inside. Meaning, while I'm at home by myself, I cannot lock the door. And it got to the point, and at that point, my anxiety was really heightened. And the person that I was dating at the time, like, I wanted him over there every night. Like, I could not go to sleep unless he was there with his, you know what. So that was the only thing that provided me comfort when it came to like going to sleep or getting good sleep and stuff like that. So fast forward, if he wasn't there, I would stay up all night. Hold on, let me adjust the light for y'all, or let me turn on the light. Okay, y'all, so I had to adjust the light because it's getting dark, y'all. It gets so dark early here in LA. I'm in LA right now. So fast forward, I mean, going back to my point, that's when my anxiety started to really heighten, right? So at that point, I was like, you know what? I just didn't feel safe in that townhouse. So I was like, let me go up to another building. And then the amount of money I was paying at that time, I'm like, no, like, I'm not gonna keep paying this amount of money to stay in this particular townhouse and not have the security that I want. But I didn't want to break my lease at the time, so I didn't want to move, like, have to gather up all this money, have to move and do all this other stuff. So I was like, let me just move to a smaller unit in the building. You guys saw that. So around this time, everything was fine. Everything kind of like coasted out. Like, my mental, I was feeling way much better because I'm at a higher floor. Nobody can really get to me. They have to call me. I mean, they still had to call me then, but like, I just felt more secure and I felt more safe. And that's when I started like posting again, doing my weekly vlogs, everything cool, boom. So I'm not gonna really get into the tea, but I'll tell y'all a little bit, because like I'm so past it now. Like, I could talk about it without getting emotional or like feeling a type of way. So around this time, the person that I was dating, I found out that he was cheating. Like, the girl called my phone. So that just blew, like, I ain't never experienced nothing like that, y'all. Like, y'all know, like, I came from being married. So like, having somebody call my phone and tell me like stuff, I was just like, what? Like, this what people do? Like, when I say I was so naive to like the thought of like people doing certain things behind people's back, like, I had never ever in my life experienced nothing like that. So like, that rocked my world like crazy. Like, that was like worse than like me getting a divorce. Like, that, whoa, Like it, y'all, if you know, you know, but like that really shook my world. And around that time, like I'm going back and forth with her and him and all of this stuff. It came, I don't want to get into too much of the details, but like it came a point probably like 2 weeks after I found out. Me, him, and her was on the phone, all three of us going back and forth arguing. I don't know if you ever, I don't know if y'all understand this, but like sometimes I can get like so anxious and like my adrenaline can be rushing so bad, like I throw up, right? And that's what was happening. Cause like I told you, I never went through nothing like this. I don't do this. What is this? It's ghetto. So like I was on the phone with them and I'm just like, my adrenaline just started like going. And it was just like, what? Like, cause at this point, like he was blocked. I don't know what they had going on. They called me. I ain't trying to get too much of the details, but mind you, this was like 2 weeks later. So I'm on the phone with them, but I ended up throwing up. Next thing I know, y'all, this man, we're all on the phone and she goes, oh, he's coming up there to see about you or something. I'm like, huh? So like, next thing I know, why is this man in my house? Why is this man in my house? Why is he standing right beside me while I'm throwing up? How did he get up here? How did he get in my house? So long story short, I'm not going to get, like I said, I don't want to get too caught up in that. Long story short, at this point, I'm going back and forth with my apartment building. Y'all, and this happened prior to him. It happened with my friends. My friends didn't come into my place, but they let them up without calling me. At this point, I'm like, yeah, no. Luckily, this man didn't come in there and do anything to me. Then it would have been a big ordeal, bigger issue than it is now. But I was basically telling them like, you know, I'm a single woman. I live by myself. Like, I don't consider myself a celebrity, but I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. People know where I live. People look up where you live. Like, we as influencers or just people on the internet have to be cautious about that. So I was telling them, I'm like, people know where I live. Like, and y'all are letting people up to my building, letting people up to my apartment without my consent. So it's like, if I had anxiety before, imagine how it went after that. Imagine like my anxiety was crazy. I wasn't like, that's when I started like going to the gym because I had to like do something. I started going to the gym. That's when I started losing weight. I was still posting around that time, but I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was not here. Like my spirit just wasn't here. It's like I was just going through the motions of life. I wasn't really present and aware. Like I was just kind of like almost like a zombie. Like it was wild. Like, and it got to the point my sleep patterns got crazy. Like I would only go to sleep during the day because that's when I felt safe. I could not go to sleep at night. Like not go to sleep at night. So after that, I was going back and forth with my apartment, going back and forth. They're trying to get me to pay to break my lease. Absolutely not. So I'm going back and forth. I'm like, I'm not finna pay y'all nothing because y'all have violated my security time and time again at this point. And like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So without getting into all of this stuff, I currently, like, I'm in a court case with them. I'm in a court case with them over some miscommunication. And also on top of that, over a case that they dismissed. So I'm like going through that right now. So I know a lot of people was asking like, oh, we saw you with your sister, we saw you with your cousin, like we saw you with your grandma. And it's like, I'm in a place right now with those apartments building, that apartment situation that's affecting me from getting my own place. So with that, that's just what's going on with that. Like I genuinely don't even care to like express that. Like it is what it is. That's why I kind of been living with family in the meantime, because although although I can probably get a place without this stuff going on, my security, like now I'm about to cry because my security is like top priority at this point. So wherever I choose to stay now, like I have to make sure that that apartment has great reviews. It has they have security on site. They have 24-hour like now I don't have no choice but to like really make sure I find like the most secure place I can, despite like how much it costs, if that makes sense. So that's kind of just what's going on. Like I didn't want to get emotional, but yeah. So okay, I told you guys all that. After with all of this going on, like I became really depressed. Like I thought I knew what depression was before, but like especially these last like 3 months, I literally started crying the other day because I was like, damn, like I was practically dead, like literally dead. Because only thing I did was I only came out the room to shower and eat, and I would just be in the bed. And it's like even then I still had that pattern of like not feeling safe, that I would sleep when the sun came up but then be up while it was dark, because I just still felt unsafe no matter where I was like living at or who I was with. So I had to like really pray. Like, and I'm laughing because prayer works. I will say that prayer does work. And I had to like really get back close with God to like understand that God is always with me, so I'm always safe. I just had a really big safety issue like going on the past couple of like the last couple of months, because even with that case and me feeling like, oh, like now I have to hurry up and get a place that's probably not as secure as I want it to be, that really kind of scared me, if that makes sense. But I am so grateful. I am so grateful and so blessed that I do have family that I can lean on during this time, because if I didn't, I don't know where I would be right now. So I want to give a huge shout out to my family and my friends, because everybody up until now has like, whew, okay. Everybody up until now has played a role in where I'm able to be mentally now, and I'm forever grateful for that. Because sometimes, like, especially for me, I know if you guys been watching me for a while, like I've lived a very normal, stable life. Like my mom did a great job with me. I have great family and I have great friends. Like I never went through anything like traumatic ever in my life. So like for that to hit me at such like at like 28, 29, like it just really shook me. It's almost how people say like, oh, you don't want to go through your first heartbreak when you're in your 30s. Like something like that traumatic with my safety and like just my life and all of this stuff, like it just, y'all, I cannot. I just cannot. So that's just that part. So now let's kind of move up into now. This whole time it got to the point where like I just didn't want to do YouTube anymore, because I just didn't want to like expose all of that. Because I feel like sometimes people take vulnerability and they take transparency and they take real life stuff and they like exploit it. And before like I became closer with God, and before I was able to get where I am now spiritually and emotionally, knowing that I'm always safe, knowing that I'm always guided and protected, doing this type of video would have never happened. Or like really exposing what was going on would have never happened. But shout out to one of my subscribers, because the other day she said, Yunnie, sometimes sometimes the stuff we don't want to share is the thing that we need to share to receive whatever God has for us for that particular season in life or blessing, if that makes sense. And I was like, wow, like I never thought about it like that. Like sometimes we as people, we hold what's really going on. And that was a problem I had with my family. Y'all, I didn't tell my family none of this. Nobody knew that I was going through none of this besides Raina. Nobody knew that I was going through all of this until like I moved out of my apartment. And even then, I still lied to my family and told them that it was something else. Like I just told like my family like what was actually going on. Like that's how much of a like private like person I am. Like I don't ever really like talk about things like that. One, because I was embarrassed because that shit is ghetto. Two, I just felt guilty because it's like I knew better. Like, and it was like three, up until that point, I never had to lean on anybody. Like I've been working since I was 18. I always like had my like place. Then I was married. I had always been stable. So like to have to be in a place where I had to lean on people, I feel like it was definitely in God's plan, because it did humble me and it softened me. It softened me in a way to like be more open to help, because I was like so headstrong and like so independent, and I just always figured stuff out and always did stuff on my own, that I never really allowed myself to be open to like other ways of doing stuff, or like feedback, or not feedback, because I was always open to feedback, but just like help. Literally, instead of like weighing myself down with like feeling like I had to figure out every little thing and do every little thing. But that did come from me like being married and still being in that position, and coming out of that and still being in that position, if that makes sense. So during this time, I've been like writing music. So I've already finished my EP, and my EP is like, when I say I don't want to go in details about the whole cheating scenario, like it's all in that EP. So when my EP is released, that's what it is. Just for a heads up. Like it's like me and him are still cordial. I don't have any like bad feelings towards him. Like he's the one that literally told me like, Yunnie, like write about it, like get it out. You need to, because he was really big on me like talking. Because I'm not a big talker, y'all. Like if you know me in real life, I'm really kind of shy, kind of timid. I'm really very much to myself. I don't talk much. So let alone expressing what's going on to others or even myself. So he's the one that really encouraged me to like put all of that in my music. So that's where like all my EP songs came from. So now I'm working on like my first album. And just a little touch on music, because I know a lot of people was like confused about that or had questions about that. Y'all, I've always wanted to do music. Like this is not nothing new to me. When I was little, my dad was a producer, so I literally grew up going to his studio, being in the studio, playing on his keyboard, playing on his I forgot what it's called, the beat pad and stuff like that. And my dad's side of the family is very musically inclined. Like it's people that can sing, rap, and play instruments and all of that. So I just come from a music background. I've always wanted to do music, but it was just one of those things that just felt like this distant dream that I would never like get to. But prior to me getting a divorce is when I first started having like my spiritual awakening and getting closer to God. And I was just like, wow, like if I was to pass earlier, like if I was to pass away young, like do I feel like I actually went for all the things I wanted to go for? Do I actually feel like I put my best foot forward? Do I actually feel like I maximized my time here on earth? And the one thing that always come up is music. So another thing is I've been a dancer all of my life. I've always been dancing. I've been a dance captain before. I have videos of me dancing in high school and college. So if you ever want to see those videos, no, it'll probably, I am planning on filming like a documentary, so it'll be in there. So, let me change the angle because the sun is going down. But yeah, I plan on doing a documentary for my music. So all of that stuff will be in there, because it's so funny, because my friends like, Yunnie, like, I wish you showed more of yourself on YouTube. Like, people don't really like know, you don't really show yourself. And I never realized that up until like these past couple of months of like really reflecting and like getting close to God and like learning more about myself. Like I haven't really, like, y'all don't really know me. Like, it's been a slight veil up for a while. And I feel like that kind of happened like right before my divorce and during my divorce, of when I kind of put up this wall with you guys. And it's so crazy, because it's like, when I think about the things like my friends say, I'm like, wow, like, because you know, some of my friends still watch my YouTube videos. I'm like, wow, like, dang, my subscribers really don't know me. Like, I'm really I'm like a really like low-key chill person. Like I said, I don't really do much, don't really talk much. Like, I just be vibing. Like, I be in my own zone, I just be vibing. But I'm definitely trying to get more comfortable with just being myself on camera. But I realized the other day, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is being judged. Like, I cannot stand being judged like that. I feel like such a kid, but like, being judged is like, I don't know, like, that's just one thing I just don't like. Like, I hate it. It makes my skin crawl, because like, I do not like being perceived for somebody I'm not. Like, that just really really hurts my feelings. Like, I'm gonna just be honest, it really hurts my feelings, because I'm just I'm really like chill, I'm really honest, I'm really transparent, I'm very genuine. So when people just perceive me in this weird way, it just, I just be so confused. But like, now now I'm in a different place emotionally and spiritually, so like, I'm doing better with like not absorbing other people's like perception of me, and making sure that I'm always my own validation. So I'm doing better with that. Okay, so moving on. Oh, also, y'all, when I say I didn't want to do YouTube anymore, I applied to almost like 500 jobs. I even had a couple of interviews, didn't get no job. So I'm just like, God, what's tea? Because I feel like God was like, no, you're not getting a job. Like, you finna tell everybody, you finna be honest and tell people like what's going on. Like, you're not finna run from this. I feel like that's what God was telling me to do, because I feel like I was running away from YouTube in a way of like, oh, like I don't feel the need to like tell everybody what's going on. But I don't know, I also had a talk with my cousin and like my friends and stuff, and like, everybody said like, Yunnie, you need to talk. Everybody has always told me that, like, I need to like speak up more. So like I said in the beginning of this video, is more so for me to just do better with being more vulnerable, more transparent, and more vocal. Even like with music, that's something like I hold back kind of with that, when it comes to like singing in front of people, or like posting me. It took me a long time to kind of post me singing, because I wanted to be perfect, and then I wanted to be so confident. I wanted like, but I had to just stop. Like, I had to I had to really like face my ego in this season of life, and drop all the perfectionism, like all this idea of like how I wanted things to happen, how I want things to look, and just understand that like God is always in control, and like to just flow with it. Because I noticed, because I was stopping the flow of my life, that's why I was getting in these ruts of like anxiety, or these ruts of depression, because I just wasn't allowing myself to breathe and flow and keep going. Like, I would tell everybody that: breathe, flow, keep going. Like, those should be 3 principles of your life. Because if you don't, that's when you stop your blessings, that's when you stop your momentum, that's when you block your blessings, that's when you slow down your blessings, that's when you delay the life that you truly want, and that's when you delay yourself from even being the person that you truly want to be, because you're fighting it so much. So learning how to surrender and let go and just let go and let God, like, has been crazy. I was talking to one of my homeboys the other day, and he was like, yeah, Yanni, like, I bet you know what Jesus, like, Jesus take the wheel now means. And I was like, wow, now that you say that, that's so true. Because it's like, you also have to understand what got me to this point is like, I had to understand that whatever it is I want is already written. My life is already written. So whatever it is I want to do, whatever it is I want to try, whatever it is I want to experience, whatever it is I want to have, whoever it is I want to be, I want these things and I desire these things, and I already have these ideas because it's God speaking through me. And if it's God speaking through me, then I know that it's already written, and it's not nothing I have to like force in my reality at this point. I don't have to like go all out all the time. I don't have to be perfect all the time. I don't have to like not wait, but I don't have to wait to do stuff until I'm perfect is what I was about to say. But like, I don't have to like force myself to like show up a certain way, if that makes sense. So I've been doing so much better with that, and it has helped me so much. Okay, so moving on to like YouTube. Alrighty, y'all. I don't know where I stopped talking, but I had to literally reformat my memory card. So I think we'll talk about music, we'll talk about YouTube. Okay, so we can kind of closing in with the Q&A. So I know that from the last vlog, I don't remember when my last vlog was, to be honest, but in between that time, I know I had went to my grandma's house for a while. I mean, I didn't go to my grandma's house, but we went to go visit. I'm just thinking, so I have been vlogging since, okay, we're gonna get into the last part of the story, kind of. I have been vlogging since up until now, but I haven't posted anything. We went to go visit my grandma, so I was with her for a couple of days. I remember recording that, and then we had celebrated my great grandma that passed away. We had celebrated her and had did like lanterns in the sky. I remember recording that. And then I went to Cabo with my LA fam. So when I was in Cabo, I was like recording I was there for a week, so I was recording the first couple of days. Y'all, why did my camera fall in the pool? Camera, boom, in the pool. And I'm just looking at it. I was just like, I didn't like, to be honest, y'all, I thought about getting another camera, and then I kind of was like, I don't want another camera. And then I was like, maybe God just telling me I should like not do YouTube anymore. And then I was like, I'm gonna just get a job. Then I was like, well, maybe I will like spend money to get a camera. And I was like, like, I was just going back and forth because like I didn't really understand like the significance. Because here's the thing, although my camera dropped in the pool, my memory card was not damaged, and I still have most of the footage, but I was still recording on my phone, and even my friends was helping me record to get footage for that Cabo vlog. So I'll post all of that content after this life update, and then we'll go into Vlogmas. But around that time, I kind of was like, I just didn't care about the camera. Like, I was just like, oh well, like now I'm gonna get a job. Like maybe that was a sign for me not to do YouTube, but that was just because at that point, like when you don't want to do something, you will find all excuses to do it. Let's just be honest. So when my camera fell in the pool, I was just like, well, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to continue doing it anyway, so why do I need a new camera? And I was even thinking about recording some clips here and there. And I was like, oh, I can still use my phone. But then it's like, I didn't want to use my phone because I didn't want to make like, one, I didn't want to like shift my quality on my channel. And then two, I didn't want to like make the job more difficult as far as like filming long form content on my phone and trying to edit on my phone. Like all of that in between, I just didn't want to do at the time. Because I already didn't want to do it. So it was just not going to come up authentic. And y'all know me, I have tried my best out of all of these 10 years to not record when I'm going through something, not record when I'm like in a bad place, not record if it's fake, not to record because I have to. I've only always recorded because I wanted to. And for me, that has helped me stay the most genuine and authentic and transparent and vulnerable as possible. But the problem with that is that if I ever have something going on, then I stop working in a sense, or I just stop creating. And I have to get out of that. So this right now, although it's very uncomfortable for me, it's very needed for me because I have to learn how to move through things, because God forbid like anything like traumatic happens in my life moving forward, but I know that life is life and life be lifing, and like our lives are never going to be perfect. Like we're always going to go through something at some part or time because it's for our own growth and evolutions as people. So I have to learn how to keep going. Like, I'm not going to get emotional again. But that's like my goal right now in life. That's my number one goal in life, is to focus on consistency and to focus on keep going. Because I've did that too much. Like, just in my life, even when I think back as far as like middle school, I have always just been that person to where like if something happens that's traumatic, or something happens that really like shakes me mentally or emotionally, I would just completely shut down. Like completely shut down and zone everybody out. And now that I'm 30, I'm literally about to be 31 in 6 days. Me entering my 30s, this last year of me being 30 now has been like very revolutionary to my personal, spiritual, and mental growth. It has been very essential to my growth and evolution as a woman and as a human being, to where like I am able to like share with my friends or my family about like growth and healing, and you know, how to persevere, how to be persistent, and how to like what's the word, and how to be resilient. Like that's a big one for me right now, resilience. Just learning how to like keep going, just regardless, and just like breaking that veil and that need to be perfect, and to always show up like 100%. Like now I see what Rihanna was like, sometimes you just gotta fake it. Like, and although I don't want to fake it, I want to learn how to do it in the most authentic, genuine way. And maybe that is God preparing me for whatever is next in career. Because I do feel like with me, like being in the music industry now and kind of pursuing that and working on that, that's just a whole different industry. And I feel like God has prepared me mentally and emotionally to probably deal with some things that may arise, or just in life in general. Like now I'm way, like my mental endurance is so strong now, and I'm so proud of myself for that, because like I said, I used to always be a person that just shut down and shut out everybody. And now I've done a better job at kind of learning how to communicate, and I know I can do a better job. Like I said, I don't really talk much, so my communication skills aren't the best, but I know that I'm very honest and very genuine. So although I may not communicate properly, I do always communicate how I feel. So I want to do better with communicating more efficiently to others, so they can understand who I am. They can actually get to know who I am and be of service if they need to or want to, and just allow myself to actually connect with people. I noticed because of my divorce and like losing friends at that time, and then going through all of this, like connecting to people, like I feel like I had everybody on this like I don't even know what to call it, but it's not a lot of people in like my immediate circle. Like not a lot of people, probably like 2, maybe 3. But other than that, like I don't really let people in. I'm not standoffish. I'm very like, I'm still like outgoing, and I'll still talk to people and engage, but like as far as like really connecting with somebody and letting them in, yeah, I'm still working on that. So yeah, that's basically life update, just to kind of sum it up. So that's where I'm at. That's what's been going on up until right now. So right now, I have a new camera, so that's clearly I'm vlogging. I have footage from before now that I'm gonna post after this, and my plan or my goal is to just focus on consistency moving forward. I also want to get out of perfectionism when it comes to like YouTube and creating content, and I just want to focus on consistency. I want to focus on not only showing up for the people that support me, but learning how to show up for myself first and foremost. Because at that point, that's the only way I can show up for others. Because I'm also learning like how to properly pour into myself and what that means for me. So I always like start the day with pouring into myself. Like I literally say I have a pour ritual. Like from this time and this time, it says pour. And that means, Kiana, you need to pour into yourself before you start entering the world and engaging with people, doing stuff for people and all of that. Because up until now, I never knew what being selfish meant. I never knew what having boundaries meant. And it wasn't that I just let people walk all over me, but it was to the point where like I just didn't care. Like I just did what I wanted to do for people, and I didn't care if it was like reciprocated, or I didn't really like, I just didn't care. To be honest, like everything I've ever did for anybody out in the world has never came with like, oh, well, you need to do this for me, or why aren't you doing, like I've never been that person. I've always been a super loving, caring, very generous type of person. Like I'll give people the clothes on my back and not ask for anything, like, or not, and even not expect anything. Like that's just the person I am. But I did notice like in romantic relationships, I did start to grow resentment for those other people. And it got to the point where I realized the only reason why I had resentment towards some people is because I was wanting them to do things that I wasn't doing for myself. So I had to learn how to like truly love myself, truly support myself, truly like speak life into myself, truly take care of myself, truly get to know myself, and truly like satisfy and fulfill my own needs, and truly be the main source of my own happiness. Like I had to really teach myself that. And now that I have taught myself that, and I'm at that point, I feel so much lighter. I don't resent anybody. I don't have any hard feelings towards anybody. I literally love everybody. Anybody I used to be friends with, anybody I used to date, like anybody I ever came, like I love and appreciate everybody that has been on my journey up until now. Because now that I know more about like, I'm like a heavy like law of assumption girly. So now that I know more about a law of assumption, and I know about quantum physics, and I know about neuroscience and manifestation and how that connects to God and our spiritual journeys and things like that, it has helped me realize that like we're all one. Like in the club, we all fam. And literally as humans, like we're all one. Nothing, we aren't separated. We're all one awareness. We're all one consciousness. And everybody that comes in your life is a reflection of you in some type of way. And it's either a blessing, a lesson, or a curse. And that's up to you to realize. But you can't be resentful towards other people, because everybody comes in and plays their role. Your life is already written. Your movie is already done. So whoever has to come in to trigger something in your life for you to either become better, for you to go through a season of getting close to God and understanding who you are, whatever that reason is, those people are only playing their role. It doesn't mean that that's just who they are and they do that to everybody and they just this evil person. No, it just means that however they showed up in your life was God's assignment for you to become a better person. And you just have to look at life like that, because it allows you to just be, y'all, my baggage, but it just allows you to be more graceful with yourself and with others, and it allows your heart to be a little lighter. And everybody knows spiritually, when your heart is light, then you can actually flow and you can receive your blessings, and your path is a lot more clear. So let me go ahead and get into these questions, because I really didn't want this video to be too long, but like I said, I'm learning to just flow with life. So however the video is going is how God intended it to be, and I'm not going to cut anything out. I'm just going to leave it how it is, because whatever I said was meant for someone. So if you made it this far, love ya. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read some questions y'all had for me. So one, okay, hold on. Okay, y'all, I was laying on my leg and started going to sleep. So I had to move. So they said, someone said, how have you been? Like I said, I wasn't doing so well, but I am better now. I am so much better now. Honestly, this is probably the happiest like I've ever been, where I'm like actually aware of it now. I feel like I've been happy before, but I wasn't at this level of awareness that I am now. And because I am at this level of awareness that I am now, I can appreciate things. I can appreciate how I feel now and really like ride the wave, if you know what I mean. They said, how's your family doing? My family is great. Where have you been? Just told you guys that. What are you doing for your birthday? Y'all, so my birthday is literally in 6 days, and I wasn't even supposed to be in LA right now. I was supposed to go back home today, but Raina asked me to stay so we can do some things together. She has some things coming up that she wanted me to come with her on, and I was like, oh, that'd be great. Because she was like, yeah, you can stay up here for your birthday and we can go here and go there. And I was like, okay, that'll give me something to like film and, you know, kind of get out the house a little more. Because y'all, when I'm back in Atlanta, like I'm such a homebody back home, or even when I go to Tennessee, I'm just like with my family, just chilling. So I don't know what I'm doing for my birthday. We'll see. I honestly, y'all, I didn't have any plans. This is the first birthday. I was like, I'm just glad God then gave me strength and mercy, and God loved me, and I had family to support me. I'm just glad that I'm healthy and living and I'm doing okay. Like, that's my birthday gift. So like, I don't know. However my birthday goes is how it goes. I just pray that I have a good day. I didn't have anything planned this year. I was like, I'm not finna, I couldn't bother. And will you start posting more? She said, and will you start posting more consistently? So yes. So speaking of Vlogmas, I know I brought that up. So I will be doing Vlogmas. I don't know how it's gonna go, because I haven't did Vlogmas in years, like literally years. And I was like, no, like, I don't care about being perfect no more. Like, I'm finna post. And whatever I post is what I post. Because I do want Vlogmas to help me learn consistency. So I'm gonna post every day for Vlogmas, and I came up with some few like extra ideas. Like, I'm not gonna give all my ideas away, but yeah, I came up with some extra videos on top of the vlogs to integrate into Vlogmas. So I hope you guys enjoy. It'll just be like just us living life, honestly, because like I said, most people plan out their Vlogmas, or it's like very Christmas themey. I don't know if it's gonna be like that. I'll do the best I can. Like I said, I'ma just be posting. So we all go in the club, we all fam, because y'all gonna be experiencing my December as much as me. So whatever comes up, comes up. It is what it is. So my birthday is on the 1st. So yeah, we'll see how everything goes. Someone says, how do you balance influencer life and your business life? See, that's the thing. I wasn't balancing it. That's the also thing. I felt like I didn't want to do YouTube anymore, and I was running away from YouTube because I didn't create a separation between like being an influencer versus like almost like I never made the separation between being YunnieRose versus being Kiana. When I'm with my family, I'm Kiana. When I'm on social media, I'm YunnieRose. So like it's been hard for me up until now to separate the two, because when I wasn't around family, I was just with my partner at the time. And it's just like when I'm in a romantic relationship, I'm Kiana. Like I'm housewife, like I'm very nurturing, I'm very sweet, I'm very caring, I'm very laid back, I'm a homebody, like I'm just chilling. When I'm YunnieRose, I'm like, okay, like I gotta handle this. I'm in boss mode. So I had to learn balance with that, because how structured I have to be, or me using my masculine energy to get things done all the time as far as business, and never really having time to rest in my feminine energy, really had me off balance as like a woman. So I had to learn how to like balance the scale with that. So now I feel like I'm doing much better, because I don't feel like I have to necessarily separate the two. Like I feel like at the end of the day, like I'm Kiana. If y'all don't know, that's my real name. I'm Kiana, but like I'm also Yunnie. Like I grew up as both, if that makes sense. So I had to get to the point where I realized like, oh, these are still just versions of me. Like I don't have to like completely like be one person to the internet and another person when I'm at home and another person here. Like I don't have to code switch anymore. I can be me, I can be real, I can be authentic, I can be honest, I can be vulnerable, I can be transparent, and I can still be loved, supported, and accepted for who I am. And now that I'm at that point, it's easier for me to have balance, because it's not like I'm being someone and then having to shut that person off and go be somebody else. It's just more so like, oh, I'm using this energy or I'm accessing this version of myself to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm accessing this part of myself to do that. But they have to be one. And I kind of learned that with getting closer to God and just learning how to just live authentically. So yeah, I hope that explains that. Someone said, what's one thing you learned the most this year? That's so good. That's actually Raina said that, so shout out to you. One thing I learned the most, like my biggest lesson of the year. I would say my biggest lesson of the year, or one thing that I really realized this year, is perception is key. Literally. I would get that tattooed. Like, perception is key. How you choose to perceive things is based off of the lens you had based on the experiences of your life. So you can have on glasses that have a rose tint. So that's how you're going to view life, through this rose tint. Somebody else you may know may have on glasses with a blue tint. So they're going to experience life through the blue tint. So with that being said, the biggest lesson I learned is that you cannot blame anything, anyone, or any place for how you feel, for why you're not where you want to be, for what's going on in your life, anything. And you cannot blame anything, any person, anything, or any like career or any location for however your life is or isn't, because it's still your perception that's creating whatever it is you are experiencing in life. I don't know if you guys have heard of the saying like, If you view everything from lack, then you will always feel like you're missing something. But if you view everything from the lens of abundance, then you will always be in a state of gratitude, and you also become more magnetic, and you get the things that you want easier and quicker, if that makes sense. So I just learned that perception is key, because sometimes what we think something is, 9 times out of 10 it isn't. Sometimes it is, but 9 times out of 10 it isn't. And if you just always have a perception that someone is after you, or this person doesn't like you, or the job market is this, or you can't lose weight, or you can't find love, or your money is this, or your family is this, like if you have all these perception and beliefs, that's what you're going to experience. Like, period, point blank. That's just how life works. And I had to like really realize that, because once I changed my mindset, once I changed my perception, once I really understood and paid attention of the way that I was thinking and changed the way that I was thinking, that's the only way things actually started to shift for the better in my life. As long as you have all these negative perceptions of stuff, you're going to keep calling it into your life. So that's like the number one thing, like I honestly would forever live by moving forward. And that was the number one thing like I realized with just life in general. Someone said, how do you stay so motivated and confident? You have to, like, when it comes to motivation, I'm never really motivated, if I'm being honest. Motivation is not something I seek to have or get. I seek inspiration always. If I'm not inspired, I won't do it. I don't look for motivation to do it. I have to be inspired to do something. Now, when it comes to motivation, I would say I am a little motivated at certain things if it comes with a purpose. But even still, I genuinely don't feel like it's anything I like want or need, because if it is, I would have it, and if I am meant to have it, then I will. So it's kind of hard sometimes for me to have this like motivation to, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, I don't really have that. Like, I have to be inspired to create something, or inspired by a certain purpose. That's what I look for. So I would say how I stay inspired is just connecting with God and connecting with myself and understanding what it is that I like that makes me feel good. Like literally following the yellow brick road, following your joy, following your happiness is what keeps me inspired. And in return does help me be a little more driven and ambitious. As far as confidence goes, I go back and forth. Well, I did go back and forth with confidence. Like I was like a really confident person, and I feel like it kind of like my light kind of went off and I wasn't as confident as I used to be when I was like in college. But like now I'm way more like now I feel like I have like grown woman confidence. Like I don't really care what other people say. Like I know I'm her. Like, so I don't know, I just believe in I feel like confidence comes with believing in yourself. And until you actually believe in yourself and know your worth, that's a big one, and know your worth, then you will never truly be confident. So a lot of people have fake confidence and I feel like true confidence comes with knowing your worth and your value. So I would say if you are someone struggling with your confidence, one, read your Bible, do some mirror work, and speak kindly to yourself at all times. And trust me, those 3 things will help on your confidence journey, because it helped me, so I know it'll help somebody else. Someone said, how do you still find time? Hold on. How do you still find the time to maintain your relationship with God? You look beautiful, by the way. Thank you. So you have to understand that like God is still you. Like God is within you. So like I do understand. I feel like some people, we kind of get caught up in like being performative with God. Like, oh, we have to read our Bible. Oh, we have to journal. Oh, we have to pray. We have to do that. Like, you are talking to yourself. Most people, I don't know about some, but you are thinking. You are thinking all day, every day. You are talking to yourself in your head all day, every day. That's your time with God, if you know it or not. Our thoughts, what we think of, how we perceive things, what we tell ourselves in our head, conversations we have with other people in our head, scenarios we make up in our head, that's you talking to God. That's you spending time with God. You just have to become more aware of yourself doing that to actually take advantage of that, so that you're always in his presence, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I can elaborate on another video, but it does take a lot of practice, but it also takes you learning how to be like aware of what you're thinking all the time. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate on like, oh, I thought this and this happened, or oh, I knew such and such wasn't gonna do, or I knew I wasn't gonna. But it's also sometimes where you think something happened and something better happens. I'm pretty sure you probably prayed to God, like you probably thought something bad was going to happen, but still in your mind had the hope of something better to happen, if that makes sense. Your internal dialogue is you and God all the time. It's not just you and yourself, because when you speak to yourself internally, you're speaking to your consciousness, and your consciousness, and well, all of our consciousness together, that's God. Is even when it comes to Christians, it's Christ consciousness. So I feel like if I break it down like that, it helps people kind of understand that they're always talking to God, and you don't have to be so performative of like, oh, I need to read my Bible, I need to do this. Like, you can still connect and talk to God without those things, because he's within you. So yeah. Let me, how long we've been talking? Y'all, this video gonna be like over an hour long. I don't even care though. Like, it is what it is. But I'll finish up on these last couple of questions and not make them so long. Someone said how to set boundaries with toxic family members, siblings, and parents. Here, y'all may not want to hear my y'all may not want to hear my opinion on like setting boundaries. Like, I'm just not the type of person that feels like you have to set boundaries with people. I feel like you just have to pull back, and you have to change your perception and your mindset on what the relationship is. Because, okay, someone said, when are you coming to Houston so I can hang out with my friend in my head? Y'all, I gotta come to Houston. I haven't been to Houston in so long. I was thinking about doing like some mini like meet and greets in LA, New York, Atlanta, and Houston. So we'll see. Someone says, how's your dating life been? I haven't really been dating. Like, I talk to people, but like that's just not my priority right now. Someone said, do you think you will continue YouTube? Yes, I think I will, like, always. Oh, okay. I think I will always continue YouTube, because I don't look at YouTube as YouTube anymore. Like, I look at it as something for me and not something like I have to do anymore. So with that being said, it will be easier for me to continue it, because I want to use YouTube to see my own growth. Like, I wish I was vlogging the last like 3-4 months so I could go back and like look at my own personal growth. Because even my best friend Raina was like, Yunnie, like one of your videos came up when you was in Alaska, and she was like, I was literally crying because like now that I know you and I've gotten to know you and like I see how far you come, she was like, it just made me like, wow, like you've came so far. And she was like, if you ever want to know how far you came, go back and watch those videos. And I was like, wow, like I wish I could have saw the last I wish I could have saw the last 3 months, because I've had like crazy like spiritual growth within the last like 3 months. So with that being said, yeah. Last couple of questions. When will we get to hear some of your music? So The thing is, although I have written songs, I've sent them to people like execs and everything. Like, I just have demos. So if you don't know what demos are like basically just the raw beat, the track, and then someone just singing the song. So it's not like fully produced or nothing like that. It's almost like a reference track. And it's to the point like I could probably sell these songs that I did because they're really good songs, and everybody that's listened to them, like everybody loves the songs. Like, it's crazy. It still blows my mind, honestly. Everybody loves the songs, but I'm still trying to find my voice. And when I say that, although I've like been singing all my life, I never had proper like training when it comes to like a vocal coach. So with that, all my life I've been trying to, like, if I hear a Beyonce song, I'm trying to sound like Beyonce. If I hear a Mariah Carey song, I'm trying to sound like Mariah Carey. If I hear like a Whitney Houston song, I'm trying to sound like them. So like I'm still learning how to get comfortable with my own voice and how I want to sound before I like actually like go in the studio and professionally record these songs. I want to make sure like I know who I want to sound, and I know how I want to sound, and I'm confident in that. And that took me doing covers. So that's why I was like, because my mentor, everybody been telling me to post covers like a year ago, but I was so scared because of that fact. Because it's like, it's some songs like I sound really good at, and it's some songs it's like, girl. So like I was just scared of that in between. Like, I wanted to post covers and be perfect, but it's like, y'all, if I waited to like I'm just perfect at everything, ain't no telling when I was going to actually put out music. Ain't no telling when I was going to actually come back on YouTube. It ain't no telling. So like I'm just learning how to like not be scared with people seeing me get better, or not being scared of having people on my journey while I do like improve and get better, and while I do things scared, or I do things that's not so perfect, and I do things that's just raw and organic and real. So I'm not sure when the actual EP will come out. My goal is to like release it by the end of the year, but if not, the top of next year for sure, because the songs are done. So yeah. But I can, if y'all want me to, I can, I told myself I want to start doing like snippets of the songs, so y'all can kind of get a vibe of what, you know, some of the songs sound like. So if you guys want that, just let me know. Yeah, okay, we'll just end there. That's it. I don't want this at this point. I don't know how long this video gonna be, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video was long, but I hope it allowed you to like really get to know me, and like really get to see me, really get to hear me, really get to understand me, really get to feel me as Kiana, as Yunnie, as like the girl y'all been watching. I hope it really allowed y'all to like I hope it really allowed y'all to like really connect with me and really see who I am, because I feel like I've been like ducking and dodging and like doing Lil' Kim. Like I just been I don't know. I just been so scared of like really exposing like who I am. Like I just wanted to keep so many parts of me to myself, but I'm just like, girl, I don't watch so many videos, and like a lot of people always say like you have gifts and talents, and if you're creative or even the person you are, like you just can't be afraid to be seen. Yeah, so you just can't be afraid of being seen, and that's what I'm working on. So I hope this video helped someone. I hope this video touched someone. I hope this video inspires someone. And yeah, sending peace, love, and light to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for supporting me and loving me and acknowledging me, and just you know, just being there for me or whatever. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.